Most cities worry about crime, politics and money. Old Edinburgh had to worry about something else: fire. For centuries, Scotland's capital was a crowded maze of wooden beams, open flames and dangerously tall buildings. One bad night could turn the whole city into a furnace, and there was a night when that almost happened. This is the story of the fire that nearly wiped Edinburgh off the map, and why the city was a disaster waiting to happen. To understand why Edinburgh was so vulnerable, you have to picture the city before the new town existed. Most people lived in the old town, packed along the Royal Mile and the steep closes that fell away from it. Buildings could rise 10 or 11 stories high, stacked with families, workshops and animals. This wasn't modern high-rise living. It was dark, crowded and full of risk. Light and heat came from open hearths and candles. Cooking fires burned inside homes, waste and flammable materials built up in narrow alleys. If a fire started in the wrong place, there was nowhere for it to go except up and out. On a cold night in the 18th century, one such fire broke out in the Old Town. Accounts mention flames beginning in a building near the High Street, then spreading fast from one tall structure to another. Residents woke to smoke, screaming, and the glow of flames licking at timber beams high above the street. Firefighting equipment was primitive: buckets, ladders, rudimentary pumps. No modern hydrants, no organised, well-staffed professional fire service. As the blaze grew, the real fear wasn't just the loss of a few buildings. People worried that the entire heart of Edinburgh might be consumed. What made it worse was the city's layout. The old town was built like a spine, with the Royal Mile as its main road and countless narrow lanes and stairways branching off like ribs. Many of these closes were so tight that firefighters struggled to reach the flames. Heat and smoke funneled through passageways, turning escape routes into traps. At the same time, some residents tried to save goods and furniture, throwing belongings or embers out of windows, sometimes accidentally spreading sparks to other roofs. It was chaos. Eventually, a combination of desperate effort and luck prevented the worst. Walls were pulled down. Buildings were sacrificed to create fire breaks and stop the spread. The flames did terrible damage, but they did not erase the city completely. Edinburgh survived, but the fire forced people to confront just how dangerous the old town's design had become. In the years that followed, disasters like this helped convince planners and politicians that the city needed a new layout. More space, more order and less crowded fuel waiting to burn. That vision became part of the new town of Edinburgh, with its wide streets, stone buildings and carefully planned squares. It was a different answer to the problem of fire and overcrowding, laying out a city that felt more rational and more controlled. The old town's twisted lanes and towering tenements didn't vanish, but the idea that Edinburgh should remain only that kind of city was burned away by nights like this one. When we walk through Edinburgh today, it's easy to admire the architecture, the mood of the old town, the elegance of the new town. It's harder to imagine how close the city came to losing much of that history in a single blaze. The fire that nearly wiped out Scotland's capital didn't just destroy buildings, it helped push the city toward a new identity, from medieval maze to modern monument. You've been watching Atlas Stories. If you want more dark and surprising moments from Scottish and British history, make sure to follow for the next chapter of the past.